Hi guys, I'm Tom, and today we're going to dive into who Gabriel is. One of the most terrifying, disturbing, complex, and original entities we've seen in modern horror cinema is the creature known as Gabriel, featured in the 2021 film Malignant, written and directed by the talented horror filmmaker James Wan. Gabriel serves as the main antagonist of the story and is, at his core, a parasitic twin with incredible supernatural abilities, which he uses through the body of his twin sister, Madison. It's implied that these abilities have a more paranormal and demonic origin. The mystery surrounding Gabriel, along with his power and chilling presence, combined with the epic concept of a monstrous twin, has made him a standout villain and creature among fans of modern horror. That's why, in this video, we'll explore Gabriel's story and origins in Malignant in detail, providing a comprehensive and chronological summary of his background. Additionally, we'll discuss how he gained his powers, his physical appearance, personality, motivations, behavior, as well as his incredible abilities and known weaknesses. To better understand Gabriel's story, we must first discuss his mother, Serena May, and the environment in which he grew up. Serena was a 15-year-old girl, a devout Christian belonging to a deeply religious family. Tragically, she was assaulted by a man, leaving her pregnant in a cruel and traumatic manner. Serena's family, especially her mother, considered the pregnancy an abomination and refused to support her. Her mother even claimed that Serena's children were an offense to God, particularly because Serena was carrying twins, one of whom, Gabriel, was parasitically fused to his sister Emily's back. Gabriel was deformed and frightening, leading Serena's mother to regard him as an abomination. Beyond his appearance, Serena strongly implied that Gabriel was inherently evil. Without support from her family, Serena decided to surrender her children to the Simeon Research Hospital, a facility specializing in cases like Emily and Gabriel's. Emily appeared to be a normal child, but she shared her brain with Gabriel, who was attached to her back. Initially, the doctor handling their case, Florence Weaver, believed Gabriel to be nothing more than an external tumor with distinct tissue. However, it was soon discovered that Gabriel was a conscious parasitic twin with his own personality, intelligence, and an inherently malicious nature. It suggested that, due to the trauma of Serena's assault and her deeply ingrained religious beliefs, Gabriel transformed from a deformed parasitic twin into a sinister being, possibly possessed by a demonic entity. This could explain his supernatural abilities, which far surpassed what doctors and scientists could comprehend. As Emily grew older, she began to exhibit erratic behavior, becoming aggressive, seemingly under the influence of Gabriel, who spoke directly into her mind and manipulated her into committing violent acts. According to Emily, Gabriel gave her superhuman strength and compelled her to subdue and kill others. He also transmitted malevolent emotions to her, and though he sometimes pretended to be kind, Emily described Gabriel as cruel and manipulative. Gabriel's supernatural abilities, such as his control over electricity, intensified over time, making him extremely violent and antisocial. Additionally, he began feeding directly off Emily, causing her to experience hallucinations and vivid waking dreams. His behavior led the medical team, led by Dr. Weaver, to decide to separate Gabriel from Emily. In a complex surgery, they removed Gabriel's deformed body, including his arms, rib cage, and face. However, because they shared the same brain, a portion of Gabriel was left inside Emily, as removing him entirely would have resulted in permanent brain damage or even her death. After the surgery, Emily forgot much of the traumatic events she had experienced at the hospital. She was later adopted by a loving couple who raised her as an orphan, as they had been informed that her teenage mother had died during childbirth. With her new adoptive family, Emily May's name was changed to Madison Michelle. Although the child began to lead a normal and happy life, Gabriel remained active for a while, albeit in a very weak state. He communicated with Emily through her mind, and sometimes spoke to her using a toy phone she had, although he was actually utilizing telepathic communication. Gabriel was determined to control Emily and, on some occasions, forced her to commit malicious acts, such as ruining her mother's birthday cake. Initially, Madison's adoptive parents thought Gabriel was an imaginary friend, but they grew disturbed when the girl talked to him alone and performed strange, often unsettling actions. At one point, Gabriel attempted to force Emily to kill her younger sister, Sydney, while she was still in their adoptive mother's womb. However, after this event, Madison managed to gain better control over Gabriel. Once Sydney was born, Madison was able to fully suppress Gabriel, as she now had a loving family and no longer felt alone. This caused Gabriel to enter an inactive state, eventually being forgotten by Madison. Many years later, it is revealed that Madison has suffered multiple miscarriages over 2 years, which has caused tension and conflict with her husband, Derek, who is aggressive and violent. One day, after returning home from work, Madison experiences severe abdominal pain. Derek, angry, turns off the television and insults her, calling her a failure as a mother because she cannot have children. It is strongly implied that these miscarriages occurred because Gabriel had been feeding on the unborn babies, gradually regaining his strength. When Derek, in a fit of abusive rage, violently pushes Madison, causing her to hit her head against a wall, this fully awakens Gabriel, though Madison remains unaware of it. Terrified by what happened, Madison locks herself in her bedroom, ignoring Derek. That night, while she sleeps, Gabriel takes control of her body. In a grotesque manner, he emerges from the back of her head and, in a brutal act, kills Derek, avenging the harm he inflicted on Madison. Eventually, Madison wakes up and finds Derek's body, which fills her with fear. Gabriel seizes the moment to manipulate her, forcing her to experience a vision in which she perceives a strange figure inside her house that seems to be attacking her directly. In Madison's vision, a woman is brutally attacked by the entity as she tries to escape and lock herself in a room. This causes Madison to faint. When she regains consciousness, she wakes up in the hospital where her younger sister, Sydney, comforts her and informs her that Derek was murdered and that, apparently, an intruder also attacked her, resulting in the loss of her baby. This news profoundly affects Madison, leaving her devastated and in a state of sorrow that keeps her catatonic for several days. Meanwhile, Gabriel kidnaps a mysterious woman who worked in the city's old underground, guiding tourist tours of the site. Gabriel takes this woman to the attic of Madison's house. Shortly after, Gabriel begins exacting his revenge by murdering Dr. Florence Weaver with one of her medical awards, which he transforms into a sharp blade. He later attacks Dr. Fields while he is sleeping and also kills Dr. Gregory as he is preparing to take a bath. After these murders, Gabriel encounters Detective Kikoa Shaw, who is investigating Dr. Gregory's death and analyzing evidence related to the previous crimes. This leads to an intense chase in which Gabriel demonstrates his incredible abilities, ultimately managing to escape from the detective. It is revealed that Gabriel has the ability to trap Madison in a mental prison, as they share the same brain. In this state, Gabriel manipulates Madison's mind, making her believe she is living her normal daily life while he is actually controlling her body. This explains the strange visions and vivid waking dreams Madison experiences, in which she sees Gabriel committing the murders, although she believes she is simply at home as usual. Later, it is discovered that the woman Gabriel kidnapped is actually Serena May, Emily's biological mother. Weakened by her captivity, Serena falls from Madison's attic, leading the police to mistakenly believe she is responsible for the murders. They assume Serena is insane and that her harsh, traumatic childhood has caused her to develop a dissociative identity disorder. As a result, the authorities arrest Madison and take her to the police station, where she is placed in a large cell with several female criminals. In the cell, the women violently attack Madison, brutally beating her. This awakens Gabriel, who takes control to defend the body they share. In an incredible and supernatural display, Gabriel massacres all the women in the cell, as well as a security guard who had the keys, allowing him to escape. Once free, Gabriel carries out a massacre at the police station and continues his plan to kill his mother, Serena May, who is hospitalized. While analyzing recordings of Emily, Sydney discovers Gabriel's plan and rushes to the hospital to try to stop the monster. Gabriel traps Sydney under a heavy hospital bed that he throws onto her. Before attempting to kill his mother, Serena May, Gabriel delivers a speech explaining that being unwanted turned him into a monster. However, although Gabriel believes he has succeeded in killing both Sydney and Serena, it is revealed that Madison has regained control of her mind. Madison takes control of her body and traps Gabriel in a mental prison. Although Gabriel threatens her, saying he will return in the future, Madison responds that she will be ready to face him. Ultimately, she manages to suppress Gabriel in her subconscious, thus repressing the parasitic twin and his malevolent nature. This concludes Gabriel's story, at least for now, in the movie Malignant. Delving deeper into everything discussed above, we can describe Gabriel's physical appearance, personality, behavior, abilities, and known weaknesses. Gabriel is portrayed as a monstrous, grotesque, and terrifying creature. Initially, he appeared as a relatively normal parasitic twin with vestiges of a human form. He was a deformed child located on the back of his sister's head, with two asymmetrical eyes, a semblance of a nose, and a small, fleshy mouth. He also had his own rib cage, with very prominent ribs and vestigial arms ending in deformed hands with few fingers. After being partially removed and reaching adulthood, Gabriel becomes much more terrifying and malevolent. His face emerges directly from Madison's brain, splitting open his sister's skull in a painful and brutal manner. He now has a fully formed mouth, with visible teeth and no lips, giving him a grotesque appearance. His nose is larger and more deformed, and his eyes are large and defined, with an intense green color that sometimes appears blue. Additionally, his forehead is broad and pulpy, with part of his brain exposed, and his face overall has a pinkish and reddish tone due to emerging directly from Madison's skull. Although they share the same body, Gabriel and Madison are entirely different, both in appearance and essence. In general, Gabriel uses the same arms and legs of the body he shares with Madison. He often wears a kind of black coat or trench coat that covers most of his body. He also wears black leather gloves and is capable of dislocating his sister's limbs, such as her arms, hands, and legs, able to use them more efficiently. Gabriel's long hair usually covers his face, adding to his mysterious appearance. However, when he reveals his face, his appearance becomes even more sinister. Gabriel has a distinctly malevolent personality. As Emily describes him, he is the devil, as he is extremely deceitful and pretends to be kind to his twin to convince her to help him carry out his misdeeds. Furthermore, he appears to have a narcissistic disorder, seeing himself as the most important being and showing no real interest in either his sister or his mother. The revenge he seeks against the doctors and scientists who removed him, as well as against his biological mother, is not truly justified. This is because he himself drove them to take drastic measures by attacking them in various ways and surviving at Emily's expense, leaving her anemic and physically very weak. When he tries to kill his mother, Serena May, Gabriel claims that she forced him to act this way because she rejected him, abandoned him, and, according to him, condemned him to abuse and humiliation at the hands of the doctors. However, this is untrue. Gabriel has always been inherently evil. There seems to be something demonic about him, as he has never shown compassion. He is also extremely jealous, especially when someone tries to get close to Madison, because he knows this could weaken his control over her. This is evident in the case of Sydney, Madison's sister. After her birth, Gabriel became almost completely inactive because Madison was no longer alone. Overall, Gabriel can be described as a sociopath, though it's important to note that he was born with an inherently evil nature. Essentially, he is an enraged twin because his sister was allowed to live a normal life while he was not. This resentment seems to be one of his primary motivations. Gabriel is an extraordinarily powerful being with incredible and supernatural abilities that make him an almost invincible adversary. His first and most terrifying ability is his capacity to deceive Madison, making her believe everything is fine while he takes full control of her body. Although Gabriel exists only as a small part of Madison's brain, his influence is devastating. Additionally, Gabriel possesses the ability to manipulate electrical energy at will. He can emit a powerful electromagnetic pulse that destroys light bulbs, electronic locks, and can even cause a pacemaker inside a man's body to explode. Since he does not have vocal cords, he uses his electrokinesis to speak and communicate through phones and radios, transmitting his thoughts as radio waves and producing a type of electromagnetic radiation. Despite using Madison's body, which belongs to a small and slender woman, Gabriel demonstrates superhuman strength. This makes him a formidable and extremely dangerous enemy. This supernatural strength allows Gabriel to break through brick and concrete walls with a single blow. He can also cause compound fractures with a simple movement and even pierce through his victims' bodies with a single strike. Since childhood, he has used this strength to kill several adult men, including doctors and security guards. Gabriel can dislocate every bone in Madison's body, granting him extreme flexibility and agility. This allows him to climb walls effortlessly and dodge gunfire from a group of police officers without difficulty. Moreover, his agility and speed enable him to overpower multiple opponents simultaneously, although his movements are strange and unorthodox. Since he emerges from the back of Madison's head, he is extremely skilled and efficient in any environment, helping him fight and escape with remarkable dexterity. One of the Parasitic twins' most incredible abilities is his accelerated healing. Every time Gabriel emerges, he does so by brutally breaking Madison's skull. However, once he finishes his task and retreats into her head, the wound almost instantly heals. The only side effects Madison experiences are minor residual bleeding and slight headaches. Additionally, Gabriel can quickly recover from severe injuries, such as the beating he receives from the women in jail or the direct gunshots during the film's climax. On top of that, Gabriel is an excellent hand-to-hand combatant. Armed with a blade, he can incapacitate every trained police officer in the station, showcasing why he is such a powerful and dangerous being to anyone who crosses his path. Interestingly, because he shares a body with Madison, she also possesses some of these abilities and powers, albeit to a lesser extent. Despite everything, the parasitic entity has two significant weaknesses. The first is that, while using his human sister's body, he remains mortal. Although he has supernatural resilience, direct and sustained attacks with firearms or severe blows to the head can incapacitate or even kill him. This is confirmed when Gabriel tells Sydney she could shoot him directly to kill him, though it would also end Madison's life. The second weakness is that Madison eventually learns to manipulate Gabriel's sense of sight and hearing, just as he does with her. This allows her to trap him in a mental prison within her subconscious. However, it is suggested that, although Madison defeated him using this ability, Gabriel could eventually learn to free himself again. In conclusion, this is everything we know about Gabriel from Malignant. Honestly, this supernatural monster or villain strikes me as a very original and terrifying concept, as I've never seen a commercial horror film explore the idea of a parasitic twin before. I love how James Wan took this idea and implemented it in such a grotesque and creepy way. The scenes featuring Gabriel, with their suspenseful touch, are fascinating. I also enjoyed how the director, through the trailers, led us to believe the film was about a demonic imaginary friend, only to reveal that Madison is tormented by a powerful and malevolent parasitic twin with supernatural abilities. Gabriel's design is impressive, especially due to how sinister he looks and the strange, unnatural way he moves. For all these qualities and his malevolent nature, I consider Gabriel to be one of the most interesting and best monsters we've seen in recent horror. But tell me, what's your opinion? Did you already know about Gabriel from Malignant? Were you familiar with his full story and origins? Lastly, do you agree with my theory that his powers have a demonic aspect? Or do you have another theory to explain them? Comment your answers to these questions below and share your overall opinion about the parasitic twin Gabriel from James Wan's Malignant. As always, thank you so much for watching this video. I truly appreciate it. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to hit like and share it to support the channel. Also, subscribe so you won't miss any of my new videos.